So Glenn Beck is apparently still doing a show. His heyday was like 2009 or 2010 when he was like the #1 host with Obama derangement syndrome, and he was trying to say he's a Muslim, Marxist, Kenyan, Manchurian candidate type. Anyway, so he's still out there chugging along. And here you have, I love it when people on the right accidentally tell you exactly what they really believe without sort of taking off the rough edges and making it sound more appealing. So here we're just going to get an argument against the concept of retiring. Okay, please take that claim to the American people. Let me know how that works out for you. Let's dive into it.
Listen to this. Americans who devote decades of their lives to toil should be able to retire in dignity and safety, period. I mean, I hate to point this out, but in the Hebrew language, there is no word for retire.
Oh, well, in that case, it doesn't mean any. I don't care. Why would I care if the ancient Hebrew included this word or that? I don't care. Why would I care? They also didn't have a word for computer. Does that mean that computers don't exist? Like, what are we talking about? Oh, my God, he's so dumb.
But in the Hebrew language, there is no word for retire. Now, I believe that, I don't know if I'm ever going to retire, but even if I did retire, it would just be to do something else.
Glenn. Oh, good point, man. Oh, guys, the podcaster's not going to retire. What a hard worker he is. What a hard worker. It reminds me of, we covered the story the other day where the PBD guys were going after the UPS workers for negotiating a really high contract, and they make, now full-time worker makes $170,000 a year. They were like going after them as if that's absurd, as if that's ridiculous, right? And it's like, you guys are podcasters. Glenn, you're a podcaster. The idea that you can equate this to like real work. Who are we kidding? Look, I'm in the same boat, homie. I do what you do. And I'll tell everybody who's listening to this, is my job as hard as your job? No, of course it's not. I come out here and I make fart noises with my mouth. I make fun of things I find are stupid, and I give you some of the news and information of the day. I could be in a coal mine somewhere. I could be driving in a truck that's 103 degrees somewhere. I could be back at the dealership trying to sell a car to somebody who hates my guts, who knows I'm trying to pitch them, and I would hate my guts too in that situation, because I would feel like, why am I even here? I don't even know what I'm doing. Virtually any other real job is way harder. And of course they should get good pay. Of course they should get paid vacation time. Of course they should eventually be able to retire. He's like, bro, I'm not going to retire. Oh, wow. Yeah, because your job is just as hard as somebody who's a deep sea fisherman, right? Like, this isn't a job. It's not really a job. It's not hard. It's not, even if it's time consuming, it's not hard. God, these people, oh my God. There's no self-awareness. There's no self-awareness. It's embarrassing. Here we have a top 1%er arguing against retirement for regular people, and he thinks he's like virtue signaling and telling everybody how hard of a worker he is when he goes, I might not even retire, bro. I might not even retire. You think I might not even retire from telling people my opinions? Oh, how brave you are, how hard a worker you are. Oh my God.
You're never stopping working, and that doesn't mean that you have to toil in the same job that you've been in. However, what he says, a stronger labor movement with government backing could demand that large firms restore the older model of retirement based on defined benefits. Wait, the older model? You mean the one before the government took over Social Security? You mean one where you did get a golden watch? You did work at a company. Not all companies did it, but you could pay in some of your salary and you could retire and the company would help you with the retirement. That model was destroyed by the federal government.
Oh my God. So you see the argument he's making here? Bro, when we did Social Security and Medicare and we decided to make sure old people weren't living in abject poverty in their dying days, well, that's the reason why these companies, like, they don't pay good pensions anymore and stuff. That's why they don't look out for workers' rights anymore, bro. The reason they don't look out for their workers is because of capitalism, is because they are trying to make as much profit as possible and pay their workers as little as possible. It's the nature of the beast. It's the system. And he's blaming the government for doing so. Bro, they should have never done Social Security. Then these companies would be looking out for their workers. No, they wouldn't. Oh my God. This motherfucker has a nat IQ, bro. Holy shit. Holy shit. So, look, what's the answer? Well, the answer is very simple. We should have Social Security. We should have Medicare. In fact, we should have Social Security for all and Medicare for all. And then we should have unions too, so that they still negotiate a good retirement, good benefits, a good pension. Because the bosses and the owners are not just going to look out for the best interests of their workers. They view you as basically property. That's what they view you as. Oh my God, he's not even trying to make sense. That's the thing that's crazy. So it's like an anti-Social Security argument tied in with, well, why are corporations so shitty today? Because we did Social Security.
They don't have our money. Every dollar that I have paid into Social Security my whole life, I'm not going to see. I'm not going to see it. They don't have it.
Yeah, I mean, some of this goes to the idea that like the concept of a person going through their life, working really hard at a job that is trying to produce for their family, and at the end of that life, they're able to, let's call it retirement for the sake of this, but like, what is retirement? I mean, as you point out, retirement might be working at your church. It might be, it doesn't mean you just sit around at a golf course necessarily, right? Like, it's
nobody's saying it is that you just sit around. You're just straw manning people. Yeah, when people retire, what do they want to do? Some of them want to go hang out with their grandkids and their kids. Some of them want to go play golf. Some of them want to lay on a beach in Boca Raton. Some of them want to, like you said, go to a soup kitchen, go to a church, whatever. But shouldn't they be allowed to reach that point in their life where they don't have to go by the daily grind, day in and day out? What the?
And that is something that I think we all aspire to.
We do.
When I look at the economy, I think to myself, man, if I could just have the money that the government has taken from me over these years, I could do that on my own.
There was a time when we didn't have Social Security. There was a time when we didn't have it. You know what the senior poverty rate was? Between 35% and 38%. That's the world you want, right? That's the world you want. Hey, very low income taxes and there's no Social Security. Bro, it's better for everybody. Is it? 35% senior poverty level. What did that number go to after we implemented Social Security? Dropped all the way to 10%. Colossal reduction in senior poverty. These programs work. By the way, that's why they're phenomenally popular. So this is just a bogus argument. It's an argument in favor of, small government, but he's lying about what the outcomes of that quote-unquote small government would be. I mean, we've seen what happens. You want to make the government super duper small? Okay, there are times in American history that we did that. And you know what the results were. Child labor, tenement housing, incredibly low wages with non-unionized workers, abuse of how many hours these workers work. Yeah, nearly non-existent government. And you know what happened? The capitalists ran roughshod. The robber barons and the fat cats ran roughshod over everybody. Conservatives have been making this argument forever. But bro, Social Security and Medicare, they're going bankrupt, bro. They're going bankrupt, bro. They're going bankrupt, bro. First of all, they're not. I've been hearing this since I was born. In the 1990s, in 10 years, it's going to go bankrupt. And it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Second of all, even if you are concerned about it, all you have to do is lift the cap on Social Security. Right now, you only get taxed on roughly your first $140,000 a year. And if you just lift that cap, so somebody who makes $10 million pays the same rate as somebody who makes $100,000 or $50,000, that would fund the program as far as the eye can see. When they say, oh, it's going bankrupt. What they're not telling you is, if you go far enough down the road, yeah, there's a reduction in payment, but they're still paying out 80% of what they pay now, which is still way better than nothing. It's certainly not bankrupt, right? But with minor tweaks, you fund it as far as the eye can see. They don't want to tell you that. They want to tell you that it's impossible, so we got to scrap these programs. And by the way, everything will be better off if we scrap these programs. They are objectively wrong on every level. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.